In the morning, it's Nancy who gets up first because our Ben wakes up first.
Yes, Ben's my living alarm clock. When he screams into the baby phone, I get up and feed him.
I get up and prepare breakfast so that we can start the day together. Then it's 8 o'clock and time for Nancy to leave. She goes off on her bicycle. A day of paternity leave is much the same as going to work. You have to plan your day to fit in the tasks that have to be done. I think that we would rather live having enough for our needs but no more, rather than work much harder to make more money. I mean, that would mean less time at home and less time for the family. It was a serious choice for me after my studies not to go into accountancy, even though I could have made a lot of money that way. An accountant does make a lot of money, but only by working long hours from morning till evening. I'm happy having chosen to be at home and have time with the children.
Dan werkt je veel uren, van 's morgens tot 's avonds. Ik denk dat ik heel wat gelukkiger ben met de keus van thuis te zijn, van tijd door te brengen met ons kinderen.
I had to learn to be tender with our children. As a youngster, I had little contact with small children, so I didn't know how to get along with them. When you become a father, you grow into it, but you also choose to do it. I really enjoy playing with our children, being involved with them. Even when our Ben was very little, there was a strong bond between us. Now he's 9 months old and seems quite big already.
Hier. Hey, Ben.
I would advise every man to go for paternity leave. I discovered a new outlook on the home and housework. It's said to be an occupation in its own right, and that's true. To do the laundry, iron, clean, cook, wash the children, give them new nappies and generally make the household run smoothly. At the start, I really had to adapt to the new experience. If I had to choose between my career and my partnership, I'd choose to give more time to my partnership. In fact, I've really made that choice already. When I took paternity leave, I chose to have more time with my children, although other people said I would never get ahead in my career.
I feel that he is a real father, a father to the heart of his being, who's really there for his children.
I wouldn't say that I have no career ambitions. When I'm on leave, I sometimes think, it's very nice to be at home, but I would like to work full-time again because my work is an important part of me. But I feel more fulfilled being involved with my children, with the neighbours and with friends. There's more warmth in it than in money.
I work as an occupational therapist in a hospice. The patients are elderly people approaching death, so it involves geriatric nursing. I don't think I'd like to be at home all the time with the children. I'd miss the fulfillment I get from my work, which comes from that feeling of doing something worthwhile. You can achieve some things at home, of course, but the combination of a job and child rearing is ideal. Being a Christian means doing things for others. It's trying to give people a little happiness, contributing something to their life. I also think it's important in this context that we give children a sense of justice, honesty and concern for others.
Rechtvaardigheid ja, dat is een goeie. Voilà. En nu mogen we hier liggen. Ja. Allee, Simon, smijt rood. En de soep is daar als.
There is a tension between my family life, which is important, and my work, where I want to succeed and make a career. When you make a choice in this sort of situation, you always lose something, but you also gain a lot. Maybe because I have an optimistic outlook on life, I always look at the things I gain rather than those that I've left behind.
Nancy's decision to work closer to home has also been helpful.
People sometimes tell us that we live in an ideal situation, that we're so lucky it happened like that, but actually, to a great extent, we chose to make it happen. If we'd both stayed working, if I'd never changed my job and Bart had never opted for paternity leave, then we too would be a family in which the children have to get up in the morning at 7 to go to the creche or maybe to their grandparents. The source of conflict in our sex life is always that we're different.
Spontaneously, making love for me is aimed at just doing the thing. I mean, most of the time I can and do make love even when we have a conflict. Sometimes it can be a way of getting closer. For me, also, making love doesn't have to last long.
I like making love in a relaxed way. I enjoy feeling Bart all over. I like Bart touching me, being close to me, caressing me. I expect him to be slow and easygoing when we make love. When he doesn't, it irritates me. Talking to each other about sex isn't easy, and I find it very difficult to talk about what I like personally in lovemaking. It makes me feel vulnerable. If I don't know what Bart likes when we're making love, I can't give it to him, that's obvious. I find there are a lot of communication problems here. I too have certain expectations that I haven't expressed, but which I want to have satisfied somehow or other.
We learn to talk while we're making love.
Yes, really, even while making love.
What strikes me most is that I learned to know Nancy as a woman. If I'd always been rushing to reach a climax to suit myself, I'd never learned to cherish the inner warmth which she transmits when we make love.
I also have the same feeling, especially lately, that I've learnt a lot about Bart as a man, about how a man experiences sex.
I have the feeling after 4 years of marriage that we've achieved more tranquility. At times, we've really been at odds, not knowing which direction to sail in. The issue was, I had a strong desire, which she had little desire, and it was difficult to find a middle way. We were both having to compromise, and we felt frustrated.
Well, the differences between us were a sticking point, but now we appreciate the thrill of being different.
If I said, OK, I don't want to be tied to Nancy anymore, then I wouldn't make it easier for us to do our own thing. I could have other women in my life and not limit myself to Nancy. I could live for myself and have casual relationships. But I think that sexual fidelity is as important as relational fidelity. I think you become a more complete person if you can combine the two. We regularly try to go on outings on our bicycles or visit the seaside. Then we pack everything and set off. If we stay at home, we tend to follow a routine because there are always things that need doing at home. Just going out into the world, daring to break the pattern of our lives by going to the seaside, for instance, is something the children really enjoy. I think a lot of people are scared of choices. Choosing involves following an ideal and going in a certain direction. There were choices to be made when we first got to know each other, even before we were married. We wanted to have a clear direction for our lives. You can't plan your life in advance, but you can know what you want in life. We had to think, do we want careers? Do we want to have children? What do we each find important in our lives? That knowledge gives a clear direction to our life. I'm reminded of the text that hangs in our living room. It's, blessed be those who dare to dream, but who are also prepared to pay the price to make those dreams come true. That is really a part of our life.
A life with children is more joyful when you really make time for them. If you go on holiday and visit 5 museums, then it's likely that your children will be difficult, you'll have problems, and it won't be a nice holiday. Whenever we've been at the seaside, when we've spent time with the children and paid attention to what they liked, then it's also been a much more relaxing holiday for us.
Having children teaches you to plan and organise your life. When we got married, we used to eat or clean when it suited us. We could just go out when we felt like it, but with children, you learn to organise your life.
Real life for me is not growing into a fixed routine, not always doing the same thing, but trying out new things and learning from experience. That's what I actually find important in life.
I think Jesus was someone who could be very generous. He could be very strict, but the idea behind it was, don't just be strict, but listen. It's by listening and by talking we can grow closer to each other if we want to. And that's the way it's meant to be. By talking and by believing in one another, we'll be successful.